the crypto community is still reeling from the collapse of UST, an algorithmic stablecoin. And yet we have Justin Sun, who is launching a nearly identical algorithmic stablecoin, USDD, and is here to talk about why he still believes in the future of algorithmic stablecoins. So joining us now is Tron founder Justin Sun, ambassador and permanent representative of Grenada to the WTO. Hey, Justin.
Hello, everyone. Super excited to be on CoinDesk TV. Yeah.
Super excited to have you on CoinDesk TV. Before we get into your project, let's just talk a little bit about what's happening now with Terra. So there's a proposal out there basically to fork the Terra blockchain. And I would just love to hear your thoughts on what you think should happen with Terra. It's very controversial because some people say, just let Terra die. And some people say, okay, let's try to somehow revive this. What do you think should happen with Terra right now?
I believe like long time ago, just right at the moment when Luna started to collapse, I have advised to depack UST and Luna completely and turn these two coins to be like a meme coin in crypto world. So Luna UST used to want to design a very good algorithm stablecoin, but it failed like eventually. So why not we just turn to like a meme coin, just like Shiba or Doggy coin? So I think it's the only way at that time can solve this problem. Because if we didn't depack Luna and the UST holders can still means like Luna like crazy, right? So so eventually they put the blockchain post and started to do this fork recently. But I think if they depack USD and Luna earlier, is probably gonna end better.
Okay, so I guess this sort of raises the larger question, which is, given how much money was just lost, given how many problems there were with this model, why do you still believe in algorithmic stablecoins? And if you could explain specifically, people say, oh, because they're decentralized. Well, that's probably, there's a lot of different decentralized models. So why are algorithmic stablecoins worth all this trouble?
Yes, sure. I believe Luna's fail is kind of like, recently in China's real estate, Evergrande, they're using too much like leverage in a very short period of time. And when they face market downturn, is turned into like a disaster in the markets. It doesn't mean real estate markets is not good for every participants in the markets. I think Luna has the same problem. So it's grow almost from, I think, around $3 billion to $20 billion in a very short period of time. All the growth is driven by the leverage they use, of course, in Anchor staking pool. Most of the UST generated by Anchor has no use case, just staking in the blockchain without even providing any liquidity or trading in the platform. So that's why I think when all happens in a very sensitive period of time, when Luna tried to migrate most of their liquidity on Curve from from 3 pools to 4 pool. So that's why I believe most of the things happen because of the liquidity squeeze, if you ask me. I think if Luna team should plan more in a sophisticated way, if we basically control the whole UST market cap around 3 to 4 billion, I think it will be way much better than what we have now. So that's why I think if we manage decentralized algorithm stablecoin in a careful way, and all the growth is come from organic way, I think it will be much better than what we have now.
Your Excellency, I do want to ask you about another stablecoin that's very prominent on Tron. But before I do, I do want to go back for a second because you talked about the withdrawal of liquidity and the curve pull, particularly in regards to UST and Luna. And I was wondering, there's some talk that this was kind of a trap set up for Do Kwon and company. That this was done on purpose to that by getting them to he took the bait by trying to buy all this Bitcoin and doing so by removing the liquidity. Do you think that's necessarily the case? Do you think he was trapped into it on purpose?
Yes. So first of all, I think Do Kwon should handle all the situation more carefully, if you ask me. So, for example, if we want to migrate from 3-pool to 4-pool, I think the better way is to maintain both pool in a very large liquidity. So, so basically, what happened at that day is they removed the liquidity immediately, even without like building 4-pool. We all know 4-pool gonna be launched basically next week, like 7 days after they pull all the liquidity out of 3-pool, which create, I think, a perfect timing for if anyone wants to launch an attack to UST, that's the best time because they are off guard, like nobody defend the price, nobody defend the peg. And a lot of, at that time, as we all know, the whole environment of the crypto markets is super panic. Everybody wants out. Even like USDT, the price at that one moment dropped to 90 cents, I think. So that's why I think all the scenes breed this tragedy. So that's why if I'm Do Kwon, I think I will take care of the situation in a much more careful way. I won't remove the liquidity at those time and also change liquidity pool. And also there's basically UST is a $20 billion cap stablecoin. I think they should have at least about $5 billion liquidity pool. Instead of that, I think if you check curve pool at that time, it's only, I think, $700 million to $800 million. So it's very small pool compared to the Luna market cap. And then they remove like immediately, which caused a very big trouble, as we all know.
So you brought up USDT, and that's kind of what I want to ask you about because of that price drop. Their most recent attestation showed about $5 billion or so, if I can recall. It's a few $billion at least in digital assets. Of course, I'm bringing this up to you because Tron is Tether is one of its biggest locations is of course on Tron. Do you know any bit about what kind of crypto, what kind of digital assets Tether holds on its balance sheets, and do you think that affects ultimately the market's willingness to accept Tether or the stability of Tether's price as a stablecoin, considering we saw this large drop over the past few months in Bitcoin, and we saw a lot of volatility in general? Do you think that do you know what kind of crypto is on their books, and do you think that it causes a problem?
Yes, I think in generally speaking, we collaborate with Tether in quite a long time. I think Tether has a good reputation in terms of redemption. So last week, we redeemed from around like $2 billion from Tether to purchase. We convert into USDC, BUSD, TUSD to purchase USDT back from the network to stabilize USDT price. I know, generally speaking, crypto has some concerns about Tether, but I believe Tether is fully backed. And I think after this kind of market volatility, we will continue to convert all of our USD back to USDT and providing liquidity on Tron network. But definitely, I would like to encourage Tether to have even more transparent way to communicate with all the crypto community. I know recently they just disclosed like their reserve walk back Tether. I think is a big step after they have settled, I think, several investigations with US regulator, which I think is also very important for the whole crypto industry, since I think Tether is the anchor of crypto markets. If Tether's price started to be unstable, I think affects all the cryptocurrency in the whole markets. So that's why I think it's also our obligation kind to guard it or stabilize Tether's price in the market.
Mm-hmm. Now, with the volatile market situation right now, I guess it's a tough time to launch USDD, your algorithmic stablecoin, yes, especially just after the collapse of UST. And I saw that you had tweeted concerns that USDD could be attacked by another short seller or another tactic similar to UST. So I wonder how risky is it? What is the risk of USDD following the similar fate as UST?
Yeah, sure. First of all, we basically planned to launch the project like 3 months ago. We didn't expect, like, after we launched USDD, just 3 days after we launched it, UST and Luna fell in a very, I think, dramatic way. I think right now we definitely learn a lot from like UST and Luna failure, just like all the real estate companies really learn from the high leverage of Evergrande and the ultimate fail of Evergrande. So I think we really learned lots of lessons, including providing enough liquidity to the markets, including building a linear lockup pool for the LP pools in the market, especially for Ethereum, Tron, and the BNB chain as well. So that's why I think we learned, I think, mainly 3 lessons from Luna failure. First of all, we need to base our growth on organic growth rather than a very short period of time growth with full leverage. I think that's the first lesson. Second lesson is the algorithm stablecoin should be distributed in a decentralized way rather than in the Luna case. Basically, 95% of all the stablecoin is on Luna blockchain and in one protocol. I think we need to distribute it evenly in all different kind of the blockchain in the world and lock up in the all different kind of the DeFi pool and providing liquidity to the market. I think currently USDD is very safe. We have like a $300 million US dollar cap, but our liquidity in Curve, Sun.io, and the Ellipsis on BNB chain is over $1 billion. I think in the future, we will be very carefully to handle the liquidity pool and also the whole market cap of the USDD. Currently, I think our target for USDD market cap is around $1 billion to $2 billion, but we will have the equivalent amount of the money to defend it. Right now, Tron reserve, we also have $10 billion reserve, try to stabilize USDD market rates to keep its peg. So that's why I believe algorithm stablecoin actually is a very sophisticated and complicated basically way to measure it. So we need to be more careful.
Justin, I just want to go back to my earlier question for a little bit, because you've talked about, how to avoid some of the risks that UST faced, but I still want to hear the argument for why algorithmic stablecoins are necessary. Like why? Because they're causing a lot of, as you said, complications. Nobody knows how to regulate them. Why not just go with, more collateralized stable coins, or go with the, USDC, USDT? Why do we need algorithmic stable coins at all? And, a lot of people answer this because they're decentralized, but I don't think that's a good enough answer. So, just what is the argument for them? Because I think a lot of people are questioning if they even need to exist.
Yes, I'm a veteran on stablecoin, so I help USDT, USDC all grow on Tron network, and also we launched like TUSD. I probably collaborate with all the stablecoin issuers in the industry. I think one of the most important answer, at least to myself, for algorithm stablecoin, is we basically want to make decision on our own fate. In our own hands. So basically, I think these days, stablecoin is the most centralized part of this decentralized world. So basically, all of the regulated stablecoin, their fate is decided by the regulators around the globe. So, and also because I'm also one of the regulated stablecoin operator, I know how hard it is to get a bank account and how hard it is to get bank accept stablecoin in the first place. So I will say, like, even centralized stablecoin, there is a lot of uncertainty. So that's why I think we definitely want to build an alternative, which we, even it's very complicated, it needs to be handled in a very careful way. But I still believe in algorithm and our team and the crypto community more than my belief in regulators, because those people have no idea about crypto. I just don't want to hand all my lives to their hands. So we want to do it on our own.
Mm-hmm. Justin, do you think that Do Kwon deserves some sort of punishment or accountability legally? And second, I was hoping you could address the Verge in-depth profile that was written on you. And among some of the claims was that you were front-running trades, there was tax evasion involved, and I was just hoping you could briefly address that.
Sure. First of all, I think Do Kwon's failure, I think, decided by Korean law enforcement, right? I see the news that Korean government has investigated this case. I think it will be leaved to the Korean authorities. And also for the Verge articles write about me, I think it's all false accusation. The journalists who write these articles even have no idea about most of the crypto operators and regulators. For example, he even talked about SEC has criminal investigation rights, which we all know SEC is a civil case regulators. And also, I think Poloniex, like Tron, we also live up to the highest standards in the markets. Poloniex is one of the earliest crypto exchange. We has never been hacked by anyone. The customer fund is super full on the platform. I think everyone have a good experience with Poloniex in terms of safety since 2014. And also, Tron today, we are handling over $15 billion every day. We have a very big volume. And also, in terms of tax, I think I pay tax to all the place if we have office over there. We have very good relationship with law enforcement in all across the board, like China, like US. And also, of course, for myself, I'm a Grenada citizen, live in Geneva. So I think all the tax has well handled by my tax lawyer.